How about I unmute myself? All right, everybody. Come on in. Come on in. Thank you all so much for being here. Welcome back to another episode of the Let's Talk podcast. This is Maggie and Lucy. I am Maggie, the substitute teacher. You may know me from my cooking channel. I make food and femininity content. And Lucy and I believe that the older women should teach the young. And so that's what we do here. We like to come here with you all twice a week. This is actually our last one of 2024 until we're back next year. And we like to give back to the community by sharing our thoughts on relationships in the modern world. Lucy and I have over 40 years of combined marriage experience. So if you're one of the young ladies who still want something traditional, maybe you can learn from us. Lucy, please introduce yourself and let us know, what are we reacting to today?
Hi, Maggie. Hi, everyone. Yes, I'm Lucy. I have a small channel that has content about things that impact women over a certain age, femininity, and elegance. But this video, I found it through Shisha Said. I'm hoping that I pronounced his name right. I've been following him for years, and this one particular video was interesting because, again, it goes back to deciding whether you want to, as a man, whether you want to be with a disagreeable woman or not. And this one is, it's going to be interesting. I think you're going to enjoy it, and it's going to have a good discussion part. And Samuel, thank you. Thank you for stopping by. And I think that maybe we can play it now. I think we're ready.
All right, yeah, sorry, you all. I was struggle streaming a little bit. So come on in. So let me give you all the two disclaimers, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. So this video, like Lucy said, is from Shiza Said. So thank you for letting us react to your content. Lucy and I will play the video, and we will respond to it from our own lived experience. If you want to watch it uninterrupted, I always leave the link to the actual video in the description, or have tagged Shiza so you can see it as well. And then again, over here, Lucy and I come from traditional backgrounds, and so we are here for the younger ladies who want to do the real work in a real relationship. We understand there's lots of different relationships out there. You're free to do whatever you want, but over here, we promote marriage and family, and so that's what we're going to be focused on. So we see you all coming through the chat. Hello, Jurgen is here. We got Mega here. We got Big Stags here, and Samuel is here. All right, so let me share my screen, and let me edit this, and let's get started. Let's get it started. All right. All right, and as you can see, the title of this video is called I Want Marriage, but I Don't Want to Submit. All right, let us go in.
As much as I think that I'm ready to get out these streets and find my husband, I think the biggest adjustment for me is going to be and to be a man in my life, because if I say I want something, or if I say I need something done, I'm only going to give you one opportunity to get it done before I just do it myself.
All right, I'm already hot. Let's go ahead and go in here. So much was said just in that first little bit. I don't know if you all heard from the beginning, but she said, as much as I'm ready to get out of these streets and find my husband, I have a problem letting a man be a man. I'm only going to give you one opportunity to get it right before I do it myself. Are you all noticing a red thread here? Lucy and I just wrapped up a class on relationship basics, and I always tell you all, and you may have seen this on that podcast that I was on, we are not equal. We are equally valued, but we are very different. And real relationships with a masculine man requires a woman who is not only able to submit, she is happy to submit. Because I will tell you, as an older woman, ladies, you think you want to carry this burden and be making all the decisions. We are not built for that. This woman is young and she's got a lot of gusto talking about what she's going to do and not going to do. Yet she's single and talking about it. The other thing that stood out to me in the very first few seconds of this video, did you hear her say, as much as I'm ready to get out of these streets and go find a husband? Ladies, you don't go from the streets to husband. There are so many steps in between there. You're not going to go from doing whatever you want to do to being with the man of your dreams. I would argue if you've been running the streets, you probably won't have a husband. But again, it presumes that she is in control. It presumes, like a lot of modern women falsely think, it's their timeline, it's their decision, it's their prerogative. When they're good and ready, then they snap their fingers and I'm going to be married. Well, ladies, unfortunately for you, we still live in the age where men are the ones that propose, men are the ones that buy the rings, men are the ones that initiate relationships. Unless you want to take on the masculine role and you have the plan and get someone to be your support system, that's an option. But I would just say, ladies, it's not on our timeline. And unfortunately, by the time you are ready for the man that you think you're going to have, he's already seen you and it's too late. All right, what would you add, Lucy?
Yes, I don't know if she's had any successful relationships. I can tell you that. She's speaking like a man. I don't think that a masculine man will even entertain having, even saying a brief hello, because these women show their colors immediately. It doesn't take time for a man to say, oh, that one's not, I'm not even going to deal with, because she's just not feminine. Masculine men want the opposite. They want femininity. They want softness. They want a woman that's going to be just maybe just being in the background rather than up front on social media, telling you how she wants her life to go, which is probably, it's a pipe dream that she's got, because it's never going to happen. A man that wants a feminine woman will never choose somebody like her. I can tell you that. Thank you, Suave D. Again, starting with a very generous contribution. Thank you so much.
Yes, absolutely. All right, let me make sure I don't have my echo going on here. Yes, absolutely. All right, let me make sure I don't have. Okay, thank you, Suave D. But Lucy's right. You can tell that this woman really doesn't know what she's talking about. And I don't mean to be mean, but ladies, you have to be very careful about these young women or inexperienced women giving you relationship advice. Now, here's the thing. You can listen to anybody. It's absolutely your choice. But I always tell women, it doesn't have to be me and Lucy. You listen to what you want to, but ask yourself if you would trade places with them. Ask yourself if they have the relationship experience that qualifies them to be telling you. You heard her just say, I'm ready to get out of these streets and find my husband. Have you done that? Have you been successful in doing that? Not even that I would agree with it, but has she even done that herself? All right. Let's see what you all are saying in the chat. We got Sinji here. Thank you so much for being here. Jurgen is here. Gillis is here. Thank you all so much. And of course, Suave D, thank you for supporting. All right, let us go back in.
I have to hear one thing she said in the beginning. Hold on.
As much as I think that I'm ready to get out these streets and find my husband, I think the biggest adjustment for me is going to be allowing a man to be a man in my life, because if I say I want something,
you're not ready. If you're not ready to allow a man to be a man in your life, then you're not ready. Avoid chicks like this at all costs.
Or if I say I need something done, I'm only going to give you one opportunity to get it done before I just do it myself. And I know that's like a bad thing, but like I need somebody to put some pep in their step behind me. Okay. If I need something done, especially if it's like something kind of urgent, I don't want you to be laxy daisy about it. If you're going to do it, I need you to do it. If you're not going to do it, let me know so I can do it. Okay. Honestly, don't.
I'm so glad we're going to take a little bit of a break from this, y'all. It wears on me as much as I love sharing with you all. I said this in our last episode, and all episodes are available on YouTube as well as YouTube Music. Ladies, you have to be more cautious about the words that you let fly out of your mouth, especially if you want a relationship now or ever with a masculine man. There was so much there. Let me see if I can unpack what struck me. One of the things that Shiza said, the host, is that she's not ready. Did you hear how she did all this talking about what she needs and what she's not going to do and this and that? And the man cut right to the chase. And he told the fellas, he was like, avoid these women. She's not ready. Ladies, those of you all that were in our wife lessons class, or those of you all that just finished up the relationship basics class, both of which are available on demand for self-study, we talked about how men instantly know if you're worth their time or not. When a man is husband ready, when a man is ready for a relationship, they immediately categorize you. So while you think you're doing all this tap dancing, and while you think you're doing all this explaining and why it's got to be on your timeline and all of that, he's already said, don't even waste your time with that. And modern women, especially, I have heard it from the men that we love and admire. It's almost terrifying to hear how they think about women that don't prioritize marriage and family. I'm going to tell you what my man said this week. Nature will take care of that. And I was like, what does that mean? He basically said that women that have that type of mindset, that it's all about them and it's not about family and it's not about anybody else, you're going to get on my timeline. You will have your time in the sun and then you will be a non-factor. So you may win the battle, but you will absolutely lose the war. And I think when you get older and you're tired of bossing people around and having people be on your timeline, these are precisely the women that are going to be crying that there are no good men, crying that, nobody's given them an opportunity. Look at how you've labeled yourself. So that was one thing. The second thing that she said that struck me, did you hear her when she said, I know it's wrong, but, and she started to talk about her lack of patience, her lack of empathy, her lack of being agreeable, all the things that are important to men. Ladies, when you know you have a character trait or a character flaw that is not okay in relationships, and you do this, I know it's wrong, but, and you try to sweep it underneath the rug and you don't take your own self seriously, why would you ever expect a man to take you seriously? Now, she's talking about going to find her husband, but she's already making excuses for her bad behavior. Ladies, if you want a real relationship, you are going to own it, call it what it is. Don't try to sugarcoat it, and actively be working on getting better at what you out of your own mouth said, I know it's wrong, but that kind of behavior is not going to fly with the type of men that we want, because they're going to ask you, so what are you doing about it? And nothing is not an answer. What would you add, Lucy?
Yes, and she's not ready. She seems to think that, the minute that she steps out of her house, she's going to be husband ready, and posting that information, posting that behavior, posting what she thinks is going to get followers on social media, that's getting her much more away from the man that will even give her a chance to show herself in a different light, I'm thinking.
All right, let's see what you all are saying in the chat. Yes, absolutely. I could be wrong. Maybe she's one of these people, y'all, I don't even know with social media anymore. Lucy and I live in the real world, but sometimes people do these things just for clicks and views and they don't really mean it. Okay, fine, maybe. However, you have put it out there in the internet for the world to see, and the internet is forever and ever. So if you think you're going to be like, oh, I was just playing, I don't mean that. You're already going to be backpedaling. And I would encourage you, ladies, this is not a joke. Men do not joke when it comes to relationships. So if you think this is going to get you that temporary attention or you're going to go viral, it's a very short-sighted strategy. Would not recommend, but we're going to take her at face value and see what we can learn from this. All right. Who do we have in the house here? Jessica's here. What are y'all saying in the chat? Sinji is with us. Everybody saying hello to each other. We'd love to know you all's thoughts. Sinji, please be safe driving out there. Yes, let me know if there's any technical difficulties. I was struggle streaming a little bit, but I think we're good to go. Mega says this is a very selfish way of thinking. Yeah, no wonder why she's alone, right? Thank you all for liking the live stream and turn on your notifications. Lucy and I will take a break from our podcast over the Christmas and New Year's break, but we will be back with you all in January. So if you've missed any of our twice a week sessions, you can catch all of the replays on YouTube, my channel, Lucy's channel, or YouTube podcast. Sinji says she's on the naughty list and it don't mean the good naughty list. Okay, here we go. Santa ain't bringing her a husband. Did I just see Messy Michonne come through with the $9.99? We've got 2 co-sponsors. I'm going to update the banner for the both of you all. Y'all know her and you love her. Messy Michonne is always giving you the real truth on what's happening out in these YouTube streets, and try not to laugh when you listen to her. So thank you so much, Messy Michonne, for the $9.99. All right, let's see what else you all are saying in the chat, and then we're going to go back in. Again, thank you for liking, and yes, she's on the naughty list. Next Level says peace and blessings to Mrs. Lucy and Miss Maggie. The doors of the holy house of femininity are open. Come on down the altar and repent. Oh my goodness. Good evening, Erin Laura. Yeah, Sinji says she needs some Tic Tacs because she's spewing some bad stuff. And Next Level says, ladies, we aren't in a hurry to be bossed around. I'll pause there and I'll come back to it. Ladies, you have to really understand. Once men have categorized you as somebody not to be taken seriously, you heard the host just say, men, leave her alone. They may actually leave you alone, but here's the thing that I warn ladies, they may actually continue to entertain you. And you think you're talking all this noise and you're going to get somebody told and you're running things and they're just having fun with you the whole time knowing this is going nowhere. So that's what we talked about in the relationship basics class to help ladies really know what is progressing towards relationship and not. So just be careful, ladies. You could be talking a whole bunch of mess and going nowhere. Would you add anything, Lucy?
Nothing to add.
All right, let's go back in.
I don't know if that's a good or a bad way to look at it, but
It's a bad way to look at it. Gentlemen, please be careful. If you are a man who still values marriage in today's modern day and plan to get married, please be careful to avoid chicks with this mentality at all costs.
don't offer to do something for me if you're not going to do it when I need you to do it. You know, you can't just offer to do something for me and then just do whatever you feel like doing it. I don't know. Am I wrong for that? I know for a fact that I overthink every single thing. So sometimes my perspective on certain things in a relationship can come from a jaded place, and I'm trying to do better. So let me know. So let me know.
Yeah. You know, the mindset of thinking that you can really just turn it on, that, you know, when you decide, boom, okay, time to be a wife, there is a lot of work to be done, a lot of work to be done, a lot of work to be done. And there's a follow-up video here from another wife who I'm just going to let her brew. We're just going to let her brew and address this situation.
All right, so I want to unpack that before we go on to the next video. The lady that was speaking, she said, again, you know I tend to overthink. I don't know if that's wrong, but I tend to be jaded. Ladies, this is why men do not want you to have a lot of experiences. Now, I don't go down the body count rabbit hole. There's no winning that. But we talked about this in the relationship basics class. Ladies, it's not just about the physical experiences. It is about the emotional experiences that you put yourself through when you're out here doing things loosely and then getting disappointed, getting your heart broken, having that damage. You can act all you want to, that you don't care, but we are not built to take the beating and built to take the rejection and built to take the disappointment the way men are. All right. So when you are out here just kind of casually doing whatever and then hoping it's going to kind of fall into the love of your life and fall into a relationship, you're fooling yourself. One of the ladies that I used to consult with told me the people that she knew, they just happened to get married. I disagree, but that's fine. You can prove me wrong. All real relationships take work. And if you talk to people that have been in real relationships, they will tell you about difficult times, lean times, times when they had to sacrifice, times when maybe they loved each other, but they didn't like each other. But these are the things that you push through. But you heard her say, I tend to be a bit jaded. Another reason to avoid a woman like this. And ladies, if this is you, if you are glass half empty, if you're always looking for a problem, if you're kind of expecting things to fail, you're going to set yourself up that no matter what that man does, it's not going to be good enough. You are going to be looking for that self-fulfilling prophecy, and no good man, no man that's really trying his best, that maybe messes up every once in a while, needs to hear you say, well, there you go again, or I knew this wasn't going to work. So this is why I say choose wisely, ladies, because you're wasting time that you don't have to waste, and not everything can be fixed. What would you add, Lucy?
And one of the things that caught my attention is when she said, sometimes my perspective is jaded. And I'm thinking, is it jaded because of real life experiences, or is it because you're watching social media to a point that all the algorithm pulls all of these negative things out of something that you're saying, and you start thinking that that's real life? And again, it's scary, because if you're that young and the only experience that you think you have is by watching social media, we're in deep trouble as society.
Lucy is so smart, and she brings up such a good point. Ladies, the company that you keep, the entertainment that you consume, what you surround yourself is so important. Not only can it set you up for success, but it can absolutely doom you before you even begin. I remember the late, great Kevin Samuels used to talk about how a lot of times single mothers, like older women, will guilt their children to staying close to the nest. And if their daughters seem to go have relationship success, here come the moms or the bitter aunties or these older single women, throwing rocks to make sure that you don't outshine them. So you have to be really careful about that. This woman who was speaking is young, and either she has had more experiences that have not been helpful to her, or like Lucy said, maybe it's in her family or social media. This algorithm is something, the more you watch, the more it will feed you. So if what comes up in your feed is all this salacious stuff, all this tea, all this gossip, and you just can't get enough. I had to correct someone in one of our classes because she just continues to consume that, and her relationship is stuck and not going to go anywhere because that's the bubble that she surrounds herself in, and that's all that she knows. So you think you're able to watch it and separate yourself from it, but you bring those bad habits into your relationship. All right, let's see what you all are saying in the chat. Next Level says, we are not going to be bossed around, ladies. We got Auntie Jenny in the house. Thank you so much for being here. Suave D, thank you again for the $5, up to $15. You are the stream sponsor. Akila says, I wish someone would boss me around. Thinking is a lot of work. And I don't know your age, Gillis. I could guess. I don't know if you've shared before, but take it from the older women in the community, ladies. Believe me, you're going to want to lay it down happily. At almost 50, all of the women in my age group are either grateful that they have somebody to take that burden off of them, or wishing that they did, because they're sick of it. They're sick of having to carry all of that burden, all of that decision making, all of that do what I say when I say it. All right, let's see what else y'all are saying in the chat. Next Level says, life imitates art. This is bizarro world. Swandi says, yes, I need woman who is self-aware and actively self-correct.
She might have other applications running in the background. So we may have lost her. Hopefully she'll be coming back. I hope that she's not going on and on talking without knowing that she's not on. All right, we're gonna have to, oh, the condemned man. Yes, we are showing a video about from Chiza Z, from a woman that is stating that when a man is not willing to do whatever she wants him to do, then the man can just go away. She's not willing to submit. She's talking about herself. When I want something, when I need something, I, very egotistically talking about it's all about her, not thinking about the man that she might be wanting to be in a relationship with. So again, it seems that she's not in a relationship right now. She's on social media telling the world how she wants the world to be for her, without realizing that that's probably going to come back to hurt her in the end.
Yes, sorry about that, guys. I don't know what happened. I was totally struggle streaming, so thank you so much, Lucy. Let's go back in, and then I will get caught up on the chat. So thank you again, Suave D.
Let's check it out. Let a wife speak. What they call a pick-me.
If you can't submit to your husband, ask yourself if you got married for a wedding and for an aesthetic, and so that your shame could be removed and so that you don't look like nobody wants you, or if you actually wanted to be married to someone, if you actually wanted to become one with that man, if you actually wanted to come under his leadership and headship. This is like so profound, but we skip right over it. And I think one of the reasons that we have such combative natures in our marriage as women, and I'm saying we because I've been there, girl. We like to be argumentative. We don't want to be submitted. We don't want to be obedient. This man can't tell me nothing. But it's like, well, if you felt that way about him, and if you had no intention of coming under his headship and being protected by him and being led and guided by him, not controlled necessarily, but there is an aspect of control that goes into it, because if a man cannot control his home, he cannot protect it. If he cannot control his woman, he cannot protect her. Going back to the example that I gave about if your husband told you to change your clothes, would you change? And I was like, you actually should, because what we have to understand is, and there were some men that were like, oh, I want my woman to look sexy. That man does not love you if he wants you to go out exposed so that he can look good to other people. I'm going to say the thing that nobody wants to say. No God-fearing man who honors and respects his wife needs his wife to be going out half naked so that he can get approval from other people. What I'm not saying is if you walk out with your wife and people compliment you because your wife is beautiful and she puts herself together well, that's problematic, because it's not. And some of the women some of the wives, you're going to look beautiful no matter what you put on. You're going to be attractive no matter what you put on. No matter how much you try to hide your body is going to show in some regard. But what I'm saying is, as a woman, if you go out with everything on display and your husband is like, yeah, I don't know if that man loves you, but you can take that up with God in prayer.
So
all right, so let's unpack this, and let me say we have another co-sponsor. Thank you so much, Next Level, for the $15 super chat. He says, oh no, let me put something in the plate to help this struggle stream. Yes, y'all, we are struggle streaming today. But he says, keep up the great work and be safe over the break. Thank you. Thank you so much for the support. It always amazes me because Lucy and I believe the older women should teach the younger women, and we have so many men that come and support and encourage us. So we are so grateful that you all surround our community. All right, so a couple of things that this woman said. She said that, ladies, you really have to ask yourself, that's going to be the word of the year or the words of the year. ask yourself, why did you get married? Or why do you want to get married? We talked a lot about this in the relationship basics. And I told the ladies, men do not marry just for love or companionship so they're not alone, or she's a lot of fun to be around. That's not why men marry. They marry for family, they marry for legacy, they marry to improve their goals with your support in a way that they can't do on their own. So likewise, ladies, you have to understand that being a wife is a job, beginning, middle, and throughout the end. So are you up for that job? Or do you just want the ring, the party, and the dress? Are you going to get annoyed every time he asks something of you? Are you just approaching a certain milestone birthday and you're scared or embarrassed that, nobody has really taken you seriously? So you're just going to jump into a relationship that you have no business being in. It's really important to ask yourself if you really want to be a wife, because that is very different from just being married. What would you add, Lucy?
I agree. And like we told the ladies in our previous class, one of the things that it's important to remember for these young ladies, if something ever happens to your husband, if he suffers a debilitating, accident that unfortunately that he cannot move, are you going to be with that man until the end of time? Because I guarantee you that my husband, heaven forbid something happens to me, he will be with me till the end of my time. Will that be the same for you? Again, some women maybe are not meant to be married, are not meant to be wife. And again, pills, potions, and poisons. So thank you so much. So that is something that you really, truly need to think about. Are you willing to put in the work in a relationship, in a marriage? Because marriage is beautiful, but it's also hard. It also, it requires a lot of time, a lot of discipline, a lot of just making sure that you respect that husband of yours that's going to be leading the home. Are you willing to put yourself under that leadership?
Such a good point. And I'm going to come to the chat. And again, thank you, Pills, Potions, and Poisons. Y'all are coming through so supportive in this season of giving. We appreciate it. Lucy and I just want to give back, but we are so grateful. So again, ladies, yes, I find it fascinating. We've shared here, Lucy and I are both divorcees. Second time around, we have long-term relationship and marriage, but we are so pro-marriage and so pro-relationship. It saddens me that a lot of these young women that don't have the lived experience, that haven't been through a heartbreaking divorce, that haven't gone through anything, are already so negative and turned off about it, because there are going to be difficult times. Yes, like Lucy said in our class, there's going to be great moments, and ultimately, because we are better together, I think we are better when we couple up and go build a family together. But if you don't see yourself doing the difficult parts just as eagerly as you want to do the fun parts, nobody looks forward to that. But if you aren't as determined to be there in the bad times, and you know what, we're going to lock arms and we're going to see this through, then you're not a wife. And it doesn't make you a bad person. But if you want to just have fun, be the fun girl. But like my man will tell you, don't expect wife treatment when you just want to be there for the fun stuff. That's what I see a lot of modern women, a lot of young women think it's just going to be this happiness all the time. And it is not. And if you don't adjust your expectations and come into reality, you will sit there with your lip poked out, wondering why every day is not a celebration. All right, let's go back into the chat and see what you all are saying. So Suave D, ladies, the men want us to be self-aware. Shout out to the finishing school that starts in January. Our first class is about awareness. All right. Like Lucy said in our relationship basics class, if the man has already told you, if he's already told you I don't like something, you're already on the clock. Your job is to read the room and see how you can be getting better without him having to say anything. And all of these classes are available on demand if you all want to self-study. Jurgen says, nobody is ever ready. It's about the moment. Interesting. Y'all saying hello to each other. Thank you all so much for being here. Happy holidays, Mark Turner. Thank you all so much. Whatever you celebrate, merry, happy, everything. Please be safe and come back to us in 2025. So Killis is here telling on herself. She says, I think one of my biggest problems has been taking things seriously. Well, we'll leave that right there. But a serious man wants a serious woman. Take that from your favorite extrovert. I really have to work on regularly having the silliness when it's appropriate and having the seriousness when it's appropriate. All right. Self-awareness. It's really important. So, and ladies, we want you to become self-aware when you still have time to do something about it. That's the key. All right. Because the decision making is up to them. We accept with grace or we exit with grace. All right. Yes, that is the truth. Let's see what else you all are saying. Then we're going to go back in. I know I was struggling, y'all. Thank you so much, Lucy, for holding me down. The dogs are alive and well. I know, y'all. I'm so sorry. Oh, yes, Lucy, they're asking about the dogs. Any update on the doggos?
They are happily snoring. I have one in the back. Do I have one underneath? No, they're both in the back. So yeah, it's nice and cozy in the house, and they're loving our discussion.
I'm sure they're bored to tears. Who is that lady and why is she still talking? All right, y'all, let's go back in and see what else.
Yeah, I'm gonna disagree with that. There are men who are married who may have a different degree of expectation of dress, right? Me and this other man may agree, like, you know what? I don't want my girl out there exposed so that other people can enjoy her body. I may say, I don't mind a little bit of cleavage. And he may say, I don't mind cleavage. And on top of that, I don't care if she goes out with, like, there's this thing in LA where chicks would just go out with like bras on, like literally. To me, that's insane. To me, I think that like defeats the purpose. He may say, well, actually, I don't mind the cleavage either. In fact, I don't mind the extreme showing of like cleavage. I think like at what degree depends on the man that you're with and what you guys value and what you're okay with. If you identify as a Christian, well, then that's going to change. If you identify as non-Christian, well, then you're obviously going to have different values than that. And I don't think that that husband necessarily doesn't love his wife because we disagree when it comes to that value. And I think Christians are really quick to jump to those type of perspectives and stances on things. And then he can change his mind later.
But my point is,
I just wanted to speak on this one, ladies, and we don't get into the faith debate here. Believe what you want to believe or not. But generally, ladies, men want you to keep what's special for their eyes only. This is something that a lot of modern women think that when you lead with that and you put it all for display, everything isn't for public consumption. And men, traditional men, maybe more conservative men, don't want everybody's eyes all over their stuff. Now, argue me down if you want to, that is fine. But I will say this. We've talked about this before, ladies. If you have a man that you're with and he doesn't have any requirements of you, you're allowed to act any kind of way, talk any kind of way, wear any kind of thing. I would argue that he probably doesn't plan to keep you around for a long time. So don't let that leniency fool you into thinking, oh, he's okay with my potty mouth, with my bad behavior, with my ratchet friends, with all of these things, with me showing my body and spilling out everywhere. Sometimes men may not say anything because is it worth the fight? But I would argue the men that you want, look at their wives and ask yourself if you are sticking out like a sore thumb. What would you add, Lucy?
Yes, I would like to give my opinion on masculine men. Masculine men do not like to share. They don't like to share, eyes for their wives. They don't like to, I mean, that is something that, again, when you're first going out with that person, dating that person, he will probably tell you, on that first date, whether you are somebody that is, a fun girl, or is somebody that he's going to keep you for the long run. Again, as a woman, I think that you should be a little more modest when going out, when your husband is not around or your significant other is not around, because again, you want his attention. Why would you be concerned about everybody else's attention? And that goes back to, men watch. And if they think that you're looking for all that attention to them, you're a liability, because again, he's always going to be unread, trying to figure out, where am I going to have to be protecting this woman when we go out together out there again. And it's also I think it's something about being wanting to be self-preservation and just taking pride of your modesty. It's okay to be modest. Again, I promise you that even if you wear a modest dress, if you're a beautiful woman, you will be noticed.
So true. I could not say it better. We have a little battle going on. Suave D says, put my name in the banner. Thank you again for the $10 super chat. We are now up to $25 and you are the stream sponsor. Thank you all so much. But Suave D is the stream sponsor right now. Let's see what you all are saying in the chat. Yes, thank you, Lucy, for holding it down. We appreciate you so, so much. Everybody's loving it and saying hello to each other. Sinji says, don't do it, fellas. I don't know who Rasputia is, but they don't deserve your time. They don't demand your time. Jurgen is flat out saying, my way or no way. I love how with all of our lady talking, how the men just come right through and cut to the chase. So yeah, if you're going to be Mrs. Jurgen, he's not here for the debate. Ladies, you decide, all right? Gillis says, that's what they do, men. They support and are rocks, yet some of us trample on them and don't value them as we should. And that's sad to hear. So yes, ladies, ask yourself if you met the one and you blew it because you didn't know how to appreciate a good man when he was right in front of you. All right. Good evening, everyone. Charles D says that's the missing link, wife versus being married. There is a difference. Well said. Thank you so much. Thank you all so much for being here. It is true. And if you don't know what a wife is, I mean, we have a class, go to Teachable Moments with Maggie.com. All of our work is on demand, but we talk about what a wife is, what she isn't, what a husband is, what he isn't, and how you can work on those skills if you've been with the type of men that let you get away with anything. It doesn't help you because then when you do meet the one, you're unprepared. All right. Hello, Mandrell. Thank you so much for being here. Hello, Quasia is here. Thank you so much for being here. Let's see if there's anybody else. Yes, Mary, happy everything. It is that festive time of year. All right, I think we're going to go back in. I just wanted to get a little caught up. Yes, thank you, Lucy, for sending this. We enjoy Chisa Jet. I want to make sure I say this correctly. Chisha Zed, absolutely. And the condemned says, I'm selfish with my women. What's just for me isn't for everyone. Mm-hmm. All right. Oh, we are having a super chat battle on for this festive holiday season. So Sinji says, put my name in the banner with $50. He says, Black and Pearls on the Queens of YouTube, so you know it's real in this live. It's been quite a year of wins in the Sin Clan, a few L's this month with family losses, but we're counting the memories. Black Santa is ready for the 25th of December. The Book of Sin 2025 is back. All right, he is back, and so are his wise words. Thank you so much for the $50. But ladies, did you hear where he said a few L's this month with family losses? You realize how men look at we win together. and we lose together. Who are the selfish ones? Who is the one that says it's all about me? If I'm not happy, nobody's happy. But do you see how men are willing to take it on their back, whatever it is? That is the value of men. All right, I'm going to update the banner. Let's go back in. Thank you.
Are we to a point where we are only looking at marriage as a means to save ourselves from looking like nobody wants us, looking like we didn't get chosen? Because it's so much more than just a wedding. It's so much more than just a ceremony. It's so much more than just being like, oh, I got a man, somebody loves me. And unfortunately, what I notice is when we have these conversations and women, not just single women, but married women are combative against some of the things that I say, I question whether or not you trust your husband. I question whether or not you truly do love him. And I question what your actual intentions are in your marriage. If you feel that you don't have to be submitted, if you feel that there's not some element of compromise that comes with marriage, if you feel like to some degree your husband cannot direct and guide you, he can't tell you nothing. Girl.
The truth is, a lot of married chicks today run their households. You know,
Ooh, that's a big one. All right, let's unpack this one, you all. So much to be said about this. Okay. We just talked about this, so timely, Lucy. We just talked about this in the relationship basics class. We got a question about chemistry and compatibility. And I'm going to plant my flag on this one. And I learned this the hard way as a divorcee. Ladies, it is imperative. You absolutely must respect, and I'm even going to say admire your husband. The only way that you will happily submit, the only way that you will fall under his leadership is that you look up to him in a way that he can do something that you can't. And this is what I said in the class, that I'm not talking about the 6 figures or 6 feet, but the example that I gave, you have to feel that he is stronger than you, smarter than you, braver than you, can teach you something, more composed than you, whatever it is. If you are the type of woman like the first lady that was speaking, that I need you to do this on my timeline. If you have been having those type of relationships where the power position is you look down at your man or men in general, that relationship is doomed to fail. And because men choose, you will find yourself alone. It's important to men. We don't speak to the men, but it's important to men that they feel admired and respected. Respect is more important to men than love. But ladies, again, ask yourself, if you are with someone and you don't have a respect for him that is just natural, that draws you to him, that you say, oh yeah, that one right there, I can happily get on the program, no questions asked. If you always have something to say, if you're like, yeah, you think you know, but you're talking bad about him behind his back, or you're kind of belittling him, or at these upcoming family events, you're that wife that kind of makes those little embarrassing digs when he's around people, your relationship is doomed to fail. What would you add, Lucy?
And that respect and admiration will allow you to go the long run until the end of time, because you'll always find something that you will make you just, respect him and admire him for the rest of your lives together. And that is something that it's so important to remember, to have, in the back of your mind. That is something that is not going to allow you, somebody else, to disrespect them when you're out there. If they say something about your husband, you'll be, like a lioness, just defending your husband because you have that respect and admiration. And how dare somebody else talks about your husband that way? Again, that goes back to just knowing that when you go into a marriage, you are going to be his number one defender, because you have that respect and admiration for him.
I love that. Could not have said it better. Let's see what y'all are saying in the chat. Jurgen says there's a difference between being well-dressed and provocative. Yes, this is true. And ladies, you just have to use your common sense. I don't care if it's a trend. I don't care if everybody's doing it. If it doesn't represent you and your husband well, then why is this even a conversation? You know, I've said it before. Every man is looking for his first lady. Like Lucy said, you will be his proxy. You will be his Mrs. You will represent him when he's not in the room. People need to feel like Mr. So-and-so is here because Mrs. So-and-so is representing him so well. I'm going to tell you all, I went to a Christmas concert. You all know I'm an alum of Spelman College. And before she passed, Coretta Scott King came to watch this Christmas concert. And when I tell you, saying nothing, the way she just sat there looking so regal, you felt like royalty was in the room. You felt like Martin was still with us. It was amazing. That's what I want to be. All right. Next level says, ladies, we want something to imagine. I absolutely love that. Leave a little something to be desired. They'll find it. Believe me, the men know how to unwrap their packages. Charles D says, facts. Everybody's doing well here. Bert says, good evening. Absolutely. Killer says, even the ones we are not interested in. Men have such a heavy journey. Women should be more respectful to them in general. Yes, we talked about that in relationship basics, and I've said it over and over again. The reason why we want you to exit with grace is that's still a man, and you never know where your paths could lead, and karma comes back for all of us. So be careful how you treat people. Suave D says marriage is a status, and a wife is a responsibility and a duty. That is so true. Quasia says, some men are neutral. They don't care what the partner has on. My husband knows from day one, I don't wear certain things unless the setting is different. If I'm at the beach, I'm wearing beachy. Absolutely. We can all use common sense. You should use your own judgment. But I think we know when a woman is attention seeking when it's not necessary. All right. Thank you all so much. Let's see if there's anything else. You all are enjoying it. Yes, we appreciate you all. All right, let's go back in and listen to the rest of the video.
You know, there's a growing amount of married chicks today who run their households. And you've got to ask yourself, is that contributing to the divorce rates? And you've got to ask yourself, what type of marriage do I want for myself? And that's definitely not the type of marriage I would encourage men to get into. Obviously, I believe men have a God-given role to take on the leadership within that household, right? What else do we have here? What else do we have?
Oh my goodness, I love that. And we haven't really delved into this, and I don't think I'm built for it. But like he said, how many women are married on paper, but completely out of order? How many women got the ring, the dress, and the party, but everything about them says disagreeable, combative, disrespectful. Like the late, great Kevin Samuel said, you know, you're a wife before you're married. You know, men who are husband ready are looking for women who show up as wives day one consistently, like Lucy said, because this is a role you're going to have for the rest of your life. And I'll just say this, ladies, if you happen to luck up and find a man to marry you, and you know when you ask yourself that you are not acting as a wife should, one of two things will happen. Either he will check out, he may be there physically, but this is when you start getting one-word answers, or he doesn't come home as much, or he stays out, or starts excluding you in different things and knows that you're already a lot of chaos. So he just works to avoid you. When you come into the room, he leaves. When he's going out, he doesn't really want to talk. He exits before you have a chance to say anything. If that's the relationship of your dreams, I cannot help you. Either that will happen, or one day the masculine man inside him will rise up and say, no more. And the problem for you ladies is there is no warning when that happens. I have heard it from women who thought they were getting away with something. They were acting unruly, and he didn't shut them down the first time. but he's collecting data points. Okay. This is how you act when you get your way. Okay. This is how you act when I ask you for a small favor. Okay. All of these things will happen, and it could happen before marriage or even after marriage. So that's why, ladies, it's really important to ask yourself if you're built for this for the long haul, because the days of men just suffering in silence, I think they will take it, but eventually they will say no more. And then you will have to figure out what's next. Believe me. What would you add, Lucy?
Yes, and I think you said that there are married women running the household, taking the leadership part in that relationship. And I can tell you, I have made quite a few that are doing that, but they are resentful to the man because the man is failing to do the lead to take on that leadership role. And in the end, that's not a good ending, because you know what? That woman that's just not respecting the husband is probably looking to other men to do other things, while she's got the husband that allows her to do whatever and doesn't have that leadership position in the household. Unfortunately, that is so sad. I have seen it, and it doesn't end well.
Yes, you all know, without even naming any name, there are some celebrity couples that people thought were relationship goals or marriage goals. And when the truth came out, it was really, really disheartening. And ladies, look at any man that you admire and respect, and either ask yourself or watch and observe if his wife is running things or he is the man in his home. All right, so let's see what you all are saying in the chat, and then we'll give you some announcements and close out. Thank you all so much for being here. We appreciate it. You all have been such a support for Lucy and me this whole 2024. We cannot wait for even more in 2025. Quasia says being a know-it-all is a stressor. Yes, this is the problem that a lot of modern women that lean into career, this is a problem that they have, because you have, like my man says, all that book learning, you have all that knowledge or that certificate on the wall. So you really think you can do all things. And then before you know it, you're day drinking and having an emotional outburst, because we're not built to problem solve and have all of this. So you can go against your natural biology if you want to. Nobody will fight you. So you all agree? I'm glad this is helpful. Thank you so much, Lucy. Eric S. says it's about our brand. So I said that, ladies, every man is looking for his first lady. Every man has a brand. One of the things that I've had to learn, and women, we should do a better job of this, is knowing the journey a man has taken before you meet him. So you meet him and the clock starts then for you, but he has had a decade or more of failures, of attempts, of trying things, that clip that went viral. I don't think we appreciate that and give them credit for the brand that they built that had nothing to do with us. And then we want to come in and wreak havoc. They're not going to let you. Yes, they'll find it. Quasia says, this one is relative, so progressively negative. Okay, I'm not understanding that one. Let me see if there's anything else on this one. Thank you all so much for being here. Oh, goodness. All right. I think we've gotten through everything. Yes, collecting the data points and seeing the wives that are resentful. All right. So with that, we are going to wrap up our 2024 podcast, Let's Talk with Maggie and Lucy. We are usually here with you all on Wednesdays and Saturdays, Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern and Saturdays at 5 p.m. Eastern, where we give you all our take on relationships in the modern world. So we will take a break. I'm going to be traveling, so we're going to take a break all of next week and probably the following week. But I think we'll be back with you all on Saturday, January 4th. So since this is our last stream before the next session of the finishing school, I want to make sure that I let you all know. Ladies, the workbooks have been mailed out. So if you want to join us, our flagship course, the Finishing School for the Modern Woman. Ladies, if you find yourself harsher than you want to be, harder than you want to be, louder than you want to be. Maybe you've gotten some feedback that you're too masculine. Maybe you've gotten some feedback that you're disagreeable. Saturday, January 4th is going to be week 1 of our 8 weeks of finishing school. It's going to be taught live on Zoom. So it'll be a private community. We'll mail out the workbooks so you all can learn all about femininity, elegance, and etiquette. This is a really good intermediate course to help you refine and soften some of those edges, because our femininity really is our superpower. Gentlemen, if you want to sponsor your lady when you get to checkout, you can check the box that says send this as a gift. We will have a graduation here in Atlanta after this session. That's going to be in April for our new and existing students. And we're going to wine and dine you and take you to tea. And one of our biggest sponsors is sending us all out on a yacht, you and your plus one, if you attend the classes live. You can enroll yourself for self-study if you want to, but we love to teach live so you all can ask questions and we can celebrate your progress. So that's the finishing school. The other classes that we have available for you all, our advanced course, which is the wife archetypes. So ladies, if you don't know what it means to be a wife, if you want to learn what men need at those different phases of their life, we just wrapped up the class. We'll teach it again in March of next year, but that's available for you. And then the last one is our relationship basics that we just wrapped up. Ladies, I always say, if your mother didn't teach you how to be a good woman to a good man, we just wrapped up a course on what it means to study your man and to anticipate his needs. And spoiler alert, I included a part of my upcoming book in the class. So I think it'll be helpful for you all. More to come on that in the new year. All right, Lucy, anything to close us out?
Thank you, Maggie. Thank you, everyone, for coming to every Wednesday and Saturday and joining us on these Let's Talk conversations. I think that it's just beautiful to see how we are building a different community filled with positivity and just good things, especially to make our society better, because it all starts in the home, making good wives, making just hoping that the young ladies understand better what a traditional family is, and hopefully we can get our society in a better place from now on.
Absolutely. And we have one last super chat coming in from Santa Claus and family to put you in at $60, 10 plus 50. Thank you so much. Your support, you all encouraging us, really means the world, because Lucy and I have a heart for the young women, and you will see more of the work that we do in the new year is going to be geared towards the young women that want to do the real work in real relationships. So you all being here, being part of the conversation, supporting us, it goes to everything, shipping out these workbooks. We're just so incredibly grateful. Yes, Killa says a better wife means better children, means better society. And that's how men look at it, ladies. So we'll be back with you all January 4th. I will continue to stream a couple more days before I'm gone. If you all are interested in following my travels with Marcus back to the motherland, I'll be in Ghana for 10 days. So I will be posting, but no more streams after that. Until I come back, I'll do a Christmas stream in the morning. So with that said, thank you all so much for a wonderful 2024. Lucy, I could not do this with anyone else. I am so incredibly grateful. You are my favorite introvert because I need it. And I'm so excited, and I'm looking forward to many, many, many more. So lots of replays up for you all. Catch the replays while we're gone, and we'll see you all in the new year. Until then,
Feliz Navidad. Adiós.
Feliz Navidad and adios.